and I am Sulaiman Baba Toure, a reporter and presenter at the SLBC. Your voice, my voice.
From the commercial department, I am Regina Bangura. You are watching SLBC. Your voice, my voice.
I am Jonathan Turner, a reporter for Sierra Leone Broadcasting Corporation, SLBC. As a reporter, I do stories on education, health, politics, and more. Stay glued with SLBC to watch my stories. Your voice, my voice.
Lucian Ganda, producer Weyus, and producer and presenter Christian Renditions on TV. This is the SLBC.
I am William Wise, presenter Weyus and also reporter at the SLBC, and this is the SLBC.
I am Salma Tabak, television executive producer. I produce programs on both radio and television. I'm a news anchor, a presenter, an announcer on radio. I enjoy what I do because I serve a public service broadcaster. It's a pleasure to work with the SLBC.
I am Telecoma, Head of News and Current Affairs Unit, Sierra Leone Broadcasting Corporation. Our news hour now covers several segments. We have entertainment, business, weather, sports, ferry schedule, and human interest stories, not forgetting politics. We are doing all that to keep you people posted on what's happening all over the country. Thanks for being with us at SLBC. Keep blue. We are the best.
My name is Samuel Bangwa, a camera operator at SLBC. I always capture the scene you see on TV. So stay glued to the public broadcaster.
My name is Abdul Kabia, a news anchor and sports producer at SLBC.
Hello, I am Esther Maisama, reporter and presenter of SLBC Sport.
I am Princess Gibson, executive producer, radio, gatekeeping, radio content, producer, public squire, your program that brings you conversation on topical issues, and also presents our breakfast show, Good Morning Sierra Leone.
Hello, my name is Daphne Zainab Kamara. I am a television producer at the SLBC. I also read the news on television and present the podium on television too. I also announce on radio. Stay tuned to the SLBC.
Providing authentic information has been one of the pillars that SLBC relies on. I am Mohamed Simbiko Omar, a reporter who has developed insatiable appetite for human interest stories. Continue to stay with Sierra Leone Broadcasting Corporation for your best in broadcast journalism.
As a public broadcaster, we believe in giving out objective stories, and your interest is our concern. I am Moses Sile Conte, a reporter at the Sierra Leone Broadcasting Corporation. Stay tuned.
I am Aminata Fofana, a reporter
a presenter and an anchor for the SLBC.
I am Dennis Fraser, reporter and presenter here at the Public Broadcaster, and this is the SLBC.
Hi, I am Kenema, a news anchor, a reporter, radio presenter, and announcer. I find pleasure in keeping you updated, and it's a pleasure.
Hello everyone, I am Slbc Tv, a reporter and presenter at the Sierra Leone Broadcasting Corporation. Stay tuned all day, every day. Cheers.
Hi everyone, I am Cecilia Alice Sise, a news anchor, radio and television reporter and presenter, and an announcer. I take interest in stories of human interest, particularly women and girls and minority rights issues. So, keep watching the SLBC, the authentic voice of Sierra Leone.
My name is Daphne Kimamakoli, and I'm a reporter, presenter, producer, and I am a voice at the state broadcaster, the SLBC.
And so right from New London in Freetown, this is our welcome to our breakfast program, Good Morning Sierra Leone, reaching live from the Sierra Leone Broadcasting Corporation television on Channel 31 and across our social media streaming platforms. I am Dennis Fraser. Today happens to be Thursday, 10th October 2024. Remember, this program starts your day with analysis and divergence of views on news and current affairs happenings in the country. Coming up in the program this morning, I beg your pardon, I should take a quote of the day, which is from our English critic, William Hartley, and it says, "Gratefulness has been defined to be the outward expression of the inward harmony of the soul." Now, coming up in our menu this morning, today the world observes a World Mental Health Day on the theme, "It's time to prioritize mental health in the workplace." Certainly we'll be talking around that this morning. MV Logos Hope Ship bursts for the third time in Sierra Leone since it started its journey of knowledge sharing to the country in 1997. Quite a huge development. And local conference of youth Sierra Leone 2024 discussed climate change issues under the theme "Empowering Youth's Innovation for Climate Resilience and Global Peace." At this point, we invite you to share your thoughts with us on the issues being discussed this morning on the number displaying on your screen or on our Facebook page at SLBC TV Live. This is Good Morning Sierra Leone. We shall be back with the program.
Good morning and
Welcome back to Good Morning Sierra Leone, reaching you live from the SLBC. Well, it's now time for us to usher in our guest, and for that, as I rightly told you in our intro, today the world observes World Mental Health Day, and of course 10th October, Youth Voice for Inclusion, Balance and Empowerment Youth Vibe, an organization which focuses on empowering youths in Sierra Leone has embarked on a 3-day awareness raising in schools on mental health issues. Now, the team has visited the Prince of Wales Secondary School and the Freetown Secondary School for Girls this past few days. Now, the campaign is dedicated to advocating to school-going pupils on mental health issues. Abdul Bangwa is the program coordinator of Youth Vibe and is now live with us in the studio. Good morning, Mr. Bangwa. Welcome to the program.
Yes, good morning. Thanks for having me.
Certainly, of course, as you commemorate the day today, you've been visiting schools even ahead of the day. What message have you been channeling to the school-going pupils, if you must tell our viewers?
Okay, so we visited various schools around Freetown. Mental health campaign to schools. So our message is simple: mental health at workplace. However, we are in schools because as a youth organization, we know that mental health issues disturb school-going pupils, and they do not have the experience, or let me say, the people they can talk to about their mental health issues. So we are going around with our release, play and heal campaign, talking to students one-on-one to know what their problems are.
Alright, so again, Abdul, mental health issues, of course, the importance of that cannot be emphasized. But as you are talking about workplaces as a theme for this year, and then you as well dealing with school-going people who are not workers, how have you been channeling that message to them?
Well, it's simple. We are focusing on school-going people right now because we see the rise in the abuse of drugs by young people. Of course, it's for workplace, but we're also targeting youth because our organization targets people from 15 to 30 years.
Okay, so aside from the misuse of drugs, as you were saying, and of course substance abuse that is really prevalent among young people, how have they been receiving these messages that you're telling them now?
Well, I think they are happy because a lot of them don't have people to talk to, and then the awareness of young people around mental health is very low. So as an organization, going close to them helps them talk to us. So I think so far so good, they have been receiving it very well.
So the Youth Vibe organization, in as much as it is an advocacy group, do you have people that have the technical expertise on mental health that when you go out with your team, that they will have the technical expertise that they will be giving out to these pupils?
For now, we are just a few youths working on this mental health, but however, we have few youths that we have allowed to gain some technical expertise on psychosocial counseling and causes and the harmful effects of mental health issues to youth.
Alright, so apart from this aspect of you going to schools and talking to young peoples, for them to know the importance, because of course, now that we have the prevalence of substance abuse, you have young people abusing drugs and other substances. These are all things that really lead to mental health issues. So in as much as you are telling them the dangers of the abuse of drugs, whatever messages have you been taking to them? Like for example, telling them that it's not only about the abuse of drugs that will lead to mental health issues. If you have, if you're stressed at home, you have other things that are bothering your mind. These are all things that can lead to mental health issues. Have you also been venturing into those areas?
Yes, of course. Our key messages are, it's not only when you abuse drugs then you get mentally affected, but it varies from a lot of reasons. We have personal stress that normally causes depression to young people.
Okay.
Yes, so I think most of them, their personal problems also lead to these mental health issues.
Youth Vibe, what other areas of interventions have you been embarking on other than celebrating or commemorating the day of International Day of Mental Health related issues?
Okay, so the scope of Youth Vibe is very wide.
Okay.
We deal with sexual health and reproductive rights. We also deal with education. We deal with climate actions, and we deal with empowerment for youth.
Alright, stay to continue to stay with us in the program is Abdul Bangura, Program Coordinator Youth Vibe, and of course he has been talking to us on their interventions and reaching out to schools on raising awareness on mental health issues and of course the dangers of the intake of drugs and other substances. Speaking of climate issue, we want to move now to another issue very much important for discussion this morning. and we want to move to climate issues. For that, the local conference of youth, or LCOY Sierra Leone 2024, is a youth-led initiative aimed at mobilizing young leaders, advocates, and change makers to engage in climate action to contribute to sustainable development under the theme Empowering Youth, Innovation for Climate Resilience and Global Peace. The conference will bring together young people from across Sierra Leone to discuss pressing climate changes, share innovative solutions, and foster collaboration with policymakers and stakeholders. Well, in the studios to further this discussion, we have been joined by the conference coordinator, Local Conference of Youth, Sierra Leone 2024. Fode Kamara. Good morning, Fode, and welcome to the program.
Good morning, Dennis. Good morning, viewers.
Of course, this is a very laudable one, and talking about climate related issues. We all know the dangers of climate change, and they have been like ravaging the country and other parts of the world, and flashes of that are really prevalent in our midst as we speak. So now that you are bringing up this particular conference to bring young people to discuss on climate issues, what are the reasons that's precipitated this one?
So we across the world, young people have been taking action in order to see that we hold stakeholders accountable, in order to see that we contribute to policy development when it comes to climate action. But that has not been much of what we've seen in Sierra Leone. But I think we've now seen a wave of young people trying to take action on addressing pressing climate issues in Sierra Leone. So the local conference of youth, being the first in Sierra Leone, is actually just one of many that's happening across the world in at least 150 other places. So every year, parties to the UNFCCC, the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, meets in a location for what is called the Conference of Parties. This year we're having the 29th Conference of Parties, which is COP29, happening in Baku, Azerbaijan. And this is where parties, that is governments, NGOs, young people, everybody interested in climate action meet to discuss climate change and then make policies on climate change, and of course make critical decisions concerning the environment and of course the problem of climate change. So before COPs, young people meet also in the city where the COP is happening for what is called the Global Conference of Youth. At the Global Conference of Youth, young people make demands and present what is called the Global Youth Statement, which is like saying, this is what young people want to see in your negotiations. This is what young people want to see reflected in the decisions you make. But of course, not everybody can make it to the Global Conference of Youth. And of course, the situations in countries are not the same. And of course, not everybody, since not everyone can make it to these conferences at the global stage, then we have the Regional Conference of Youth, which happens at a continental level. And even as that, not everybody can make it to the regional conferences. For example, this year, the Conference for Africa happened in Ethiopia. Not everyone from who wants to attend can afford going to Ethiopia for the Regional Conference of Youth. This is why we have the Local Conference of Youth, which has been happening for over 10 or 15 years in different other countries. But for the first time in Sierra Leone, we have the approval from Yongo, which is the official children and youth constituency, to organize the Local Conference of Youth through the Center for Community Impact and Sustainability, in partnership with other youth organizations, including the Youth Climate Council Sierra Leone, the Youth Initiative for Climate Action, United Nations Youth Advisory Group, and other partners, to be able to organize the Local Conference of Youth. But then the result of the Local Conference of Youth is what we call the National Youth Statement. The National Youth Statement is the national version of the Global Youth Statement, wherein young people put together demands that make their positions known to the state stakeholders, the country stakeholders, and say, when you go to COP, this is what we want to see. When you make national policies on climate action, this is what we want to see as young people. So when we meet at the local conference of youth, we present this statement. We're already in the process of developing the statement. We've had consultations with young people virtually across the country in order to get the voices of young people reflected in a national youth statement. Okay. So it is not just the voices of the organizers or few others who are active. We have heard from everybody, even those who are not engaged in climate action. But of course, climate change affects everybody. When the heat waves come, they don't pick which houses to go. When the flooding occurs, it doesn't, if it's a area where flooding occurs, it doesn't choose which house to go and which house not to go. And so we think it is the business of everybody. This is why the consultations have been inclusive. We ensure that everybody take part in these consultations.
Now, Mr. Kamara, you have it as change makers, you have it that one of your aim is to empower young people to take leadership role in addressing climate issues. Aside from putting together position papers, addressing or speaking about the importance of taking actions in conferences, whether it's COP, conference of party or whatever conference globally that is being organized, in country, what sort of needed actions have you been taking? Like you spoke about, the heat wave. You spoke about flooding and other compelling issues that are really a call for concern and a call for action. What have you been doing as young people to take action to curtail some of this?
I can name off the top over 10 youth initiatives happening currently. Okay. People taking action. We have young people who are restoring the mangroves at Abade. We have young people who are transforming waste to what is called the briquette that you can use for cooking. It doesn't give out smoke. We have young people converting waste tires to chairs and beds. We have young people planting trees to ensure that we restore the trees that have been cut down. We have young people doing a whole lot of other activities. However, in doing all of these, policies set the environment, policies set the pace. In order to be able to do all of this, young people need skills, young people need the platform. So these conferences serve as a space where we ask the authorities to make commitment. These conferences serve as a space where we collect the input and voices of other young people. Okay. So it's not just like young people are talking, young people are taking action. Every day we have seen young people taking action. So we are not just asking for change, we're taking the lead to ensure that the change happened. And so at the local conference of youth, some of these wonderful initiatives that young people are taking will actually be displayed. We will showcase what young people are doing already, because like you said, if we just have to sit and say we ask the authorities to do these things, that we don't take actions ourselves, we don't believe we will see the results that we want to take. But we believe we have to be here longer than those who are at the helm of affairs now, and we don't take action to protect the environment, in the next 30-40 years we might still be alive, but we might not have somewhere to stay.
This particular urgency, the need for urgent action to be taken, that I was really speaking to. But don't get me wrong, I know policies are very much important. If they pave the way for, actions to be taken. Yeah. But of course, I'm talking about, immediate actions being taken by young people. Of course, you've also made mention of the fact that you've engaged in the planting of mangroves around seabed areas. All of those are brilliant initiatives, because we all know about the deforestation taking place up country in other parts of the regions, and of course even here in Freetown, people building on waterways. So what are some of these awareness raising mechanisms or strategies you've been using that you're channeling to the public?
Okay, and so for example, my organization, the Youth Initiative for Climate Action, we have done series of awareness raising campaigns in public spaces, in markets, in communities, house to house, in schools, because we believe kids have a way to also educate their parents, because most of what Freetown faces, for example, the sanitation issue, we believe is much of a behavioral issue than an infrastructural issue. Because everybody drops the plastics when they drink water on the streets. People do not care the effects on the waterways. People do not care how it will contribute to flooding. And so, whilst of course we ask for this policy change, whilst we get the conference, the LQA, and make all these demands, we also believe empowering communities with the necessary knowledge to build resilient societies is also important. And so, of course, we're raising awareness using every means available. We're raising awareness using radio stations, television channels. We're going to communities. We're using social media to ensure that people know the dangers of climate change. People know that they have a role to play. Very soon, when it's the dry seasons, you cannot work a day that you will not see people burning bushes, and the smokes going into the air, into the atmosphere, creates problem, add to the already existing problem. And so we continue to educate people to stop the burning of the bushes, to stop the burning of the grasses, to stop the pollution that's happening around. In all of those we do to effect some aspect of behavioral change in the things we do that impact the environment.
Now, before going deeper to talk about today's conference, you are to host here in Freetown to really have young people discuss on, remedies that we put in place for addressing climate, issues. Now, talk to us a little bit further on your intervention in, of course, in global conferences. Of course, you have spotted a morning coffee this morning for saying that, of course, you've contributed in making sure that you chart the way forward to policymakers for them to really see the need to involve Sierra Leone into some of the policies they are making for combating climate change issues in Sierra Leone. Okay,
so for the past few years, we've tried to see how Sierra Leonean young people can be active on the global stage or when it comes to climate action. We've been at previous COPs to join young people from across the world to engage in, dialogue, to form partnerships, to seek for resources, to be able to mobilize young people in Sierra Leone. Sierra Leone is now a member of the Youth Climate Council Global Alliance. We have the Youth Climate Council Sierra Leone. We're active in the activities of YONGO, which is the official children and youth constituency of the UNFCCC. At the conference of youth, global conference of youth this year, we're trying to ensure that we get some young people from Sierra Leone to be there to attend. We're seeking funding, we're seeking support as part of the objective of the LQA. In fact, is to also ensure that we get some young people to be able to attend COP because it costs a lot. Not everybody can afford, only a few in fact can afford. Exactly. And so we're seeking funding and support from our partners around to ensure that maybe we send a few people. So we're also confident that we present the position of the situation in Sierra Leone on the global stage. Like I said, this is the first time the LQA will be held. These are all part of efforts that we've been doing to ensure that Sierra Leone join the rest of the world in taking action on the global stage. We've always ensured that, of course, conferences that happen, we're part of the organizing committees of some of these conferences. For example, the COI that is happening, YONGO activities at COP29. We have Sierra Leoneans who are part of Sierra Leonean youth who are part of various committees. We have Sierra Leonean youth who are part of the global coordinating team of YONGO. And so Sierra Leonean youths are really, really active currently on the global stage when it comes to climate action.
So quickly, Mark, talk us through some of your strategic actions insofar as the local conference on climate change that you are going to be hosting.
So far, we've been able to get critical partners in the climate space, and of course to be able to support the conference. We've built partnerships with the Ministry of Youth Affairs, with Save the Children, C40 Cities, YOTA, which is a continental youth supporting NGO. which support youth activities across. We've been able to ensure that Sierra Leonean youth, some members of the organizing committee and some other youth, are part of the African Negotiators Training Program, Climate Negotiators Training Program, organized by the Economic Commission for Africa, ECOSOC. Also part of, you know, building the capacity of young people from Sierra Leone to be able to engage in negotiations. We have been able to organize consultations to get input for the National Youth Statement. Like I said earlier, this is not just like a conference where we want to go and have panel discussions, where we want to go and sit down and listen to people. The result of the LCOI has to be the National Youth Statement, which is very, very important. Without having a National Youth Statement, it's not an LCOI. So we have gone far as having input from young people. We have had 2 drafts. We've sent these to our partners to be able to help us support with, you know, developing it to the standard, to a global standard, as it will be presented to UNGO and the UNFCCC, as well as the government of Sierra Leone, international organizations, and of course national NGOs equally. We're working with other institutions like the Ministry of Foreign Affairs who definitely we're expecting to support us in other means. And so the conference is happening. We're going to have the conference on the 23rd and 24th for the first time, just the first of many that will now be happening in Sierra Leone. And we hope that young people who will be able to attend will take the messages to get from there, will continue to build on the commitments they make at these conferences, because like I said, we don't want to just have it to be one of the many conferences that happen.
I wanted to take a leaf from. Of course, in as much as this is the maiden edition of this national dialogue session, we're going to be having a consultative one at that. This is not the first time, of course. You for one is one big advocate in terms of climate mitigation issues, and of course for adaptation mechanisms to be taken. And this is not the first time that you are taking up some of these gestures. You know, I've been saying that young people are not lacking of ideas. They talk about the innovations, some of the static framework you are putting in place, all of these ideas. But sometimes the bottleneck is when you put in your position papers, your recommendations, you put them so the duty bearers sometimes for actions to be taken, then that's where the problem lies.
Yeah, so for the LCOI, this is why I said we have built partnerships and we continue to build these partnerships. It is not just to organize the summit, it is the conference, it is not just to put the position paper together. We want to follow up on these institutions. We want to be ensured that we have a partnership that will be able to push us to, you know, seek the necessary support we need to be able to have young people active in organizing some of these activities that they will have. We want to see young people at the forefront of climate action. I would say this again and again, that the environment, if the environment is destroyed, we suffer more than those before us. Some of them will be gone in 10 years, some in less than that. But then we'll be here, we expect that we'll be here in 30, in 40 or 50 years. And then we'll have our kids coming.
Okay, thank you very much. He's for the Mark Kamara, and of course he's the local conference coordinator for local conference youth Sierra Leone 2024 conference on climate action to be taken by young people. That is set for 23rd to 24th of October this year. I will continue to discuss more on that, but for now let's join Ansumana Kagbu for our traffic updates.
Good morning and welcome to Traffic Updates live from the Sierra Leone Broadcasting Corporation. I am Ansumana Kagbo. As you can see, I am presently at Lumley, one of the busy streets in the western of Freetown. The traffic officers are controlling the vehicles so that they cannot collide. The time is now 7 a.m. going to 8 a.m. The traffic in Lumley does not only occur in the morning, but also in the evening. Lumley, which is the main route that leads to the Lumley and Aberdeen beaches, Wilkins Road, Peninsula of Freetown, and Wilberforce. As you can see over here, the vehicles that are coming from the Wilberforce and Wilkinson Road end. They are in the queue waiting for the traffic officers to call them. Over there are the vehicles that are coming from the peninsula of Freetown. Over here also are the vehicles that are coming from the Lumley, the routes that leads to the Lumley and Aberdeen beaches. They are in the queue waiting for the traffic officers to call them. This is rush hour. People are trying to go about their daily activities, and most of them are using the Lumley routes. Like I said, it is the route that leads to Wilberforce, Wilkinson Road, Lumley and Aberdeen beaches, and also the peninsula of Freetown.
Thanks indeed to our man and Sumana for putting that traffic updates together. And we hope that of course the authorities regulating traffic will take note of some of the congestions we are seeing here. Well, the program is Good Morning Sierra Leone, live from the Sierra Leone Broadcasting Corporation television on Channel 13. We've been having a fantastic discussion here this morning, and of course you can also be part of the discussion this morning by sending in your thoughts through the numbers displaying on your screen, or you can go to our Slbc TV live Facebook page to send your comments. We continue with the program and we now move to another issue. The MV Logos Hope Ship has officially opened its doors for the sale of teaching and learning materials for various fields and professions. The ship hosts about 5,000 books on various fields and professions. Now, this is the third time the Logos Hope Ship is visiting Sierra Leone since it started its journey of knowledge sharing to the country in 1997. The aim of the ship, according to the director, Edward David, was to help develop the world's human capital, encourage education, promote cultural diversity, and share hope through partnership. The ship is also known for hosting the world's largest floating book fair, with over 5,000 books ranging from science, literature, arts, cookery, hobbies, and faith, among others. That's quite huge. Well, for more on this, we've been joined in the studio by Biba Sumaila, and he is the project coordinator for Logos Hope Ship in Freetown. Good morning, Mr. Sumaila. Welcome to the program.
Good morning. It's a pleasure for me to be here.
Certainly, it's a pleasure having you here in the studio. You docked at the Queen Elizabeth Key yesterday for the third time. What has the atmosphere been for you guys?
It has been such a very good experience for us as a crew as well, coming from different places. Actually, we are coming from Ghana. Landing here is like bathing at the Queen Elizabeth. It has been such a very beautiful to see the welcoming of the people of Sierra Leone, and also the opening ceremony that we had yesterday. We could be able to experience actually almost all the people that we invited to be able to come. They came, and we are very excited and to see ahead as well, like what is going to happen.
Now, the Logos Hope Ship is known for sharing diversity, not only knowledge sharing, but it also transcends in sharing, culture, because it has a host of different nationalities on board that ship that has a mixture of, or a blend of different culture that mix across the world. How have you been sharing that? In over 5,000 books on shelves in different areas in a ship. Those of which you've been selling out to the public, some you give as pro bono. How have you been impacting knowledge?
So, as I mentioned before, these are the 30 things that we are running into it, and that's the existence of the Logos Hope, which the first is knowledge, the one that you're asking. We share knowledge through our books that we have. This is 5,000 titles of the books that we are bringing. Of October, we are going to be here almost to 1 month. We are going to be here. We are very excited by the welcoming of the people as well of Sierra Leone. This is the long time that we are going to stay here, but also actually we are going to be opening from Tuesday to Sunday. Tuesday in the morning from 10 to 7 p.m. to Saturday. On Sunday only we open it in the afternoon at 1 p.m. to 7 p.m.
Now again, Mr. Biba, you are coming at a time when Sierra Leone we have a premium on education, and of course that was the flagship of the government, and of course we put premium in education, quality education, and you are bringing books. Sadly, Sierra Leoneans we are known for not having the culture of reading, and but how have you been faring out by sharing experiences and of course encouraging people to have the culture of reading? Literature, arts, and a lot of other fields. I was also thinking, have you thought of adding, a mixture of African culture and traditions that you also share on board, as you go to places, and you also mix that part of your varieties or your journeys?
The answer is yes, because since I've been on board Logosop, since I've joined the Logosop, I've seen a variety kind of books in different cultures as well, in different countries. Especially me as an African, I'm actually from Mozambique. I have seen such different kind of books on board the Logosop, which were written by African people. I was very surprised, but also with the heart of rejoicing as well to see the African books be in that ship on the Logosop and being sold there, and people actually they are buying. It's very amazing. People, other African, they are not, of course, in Africa, but they're outside of Africa, which they are writing as well the story or some of the other kind of titles to be able to display, and those are some of the books that you're going to find on board Logosop.
Thank you very much. Of course, this is Biba Sumaila, project coordinator of Logosop in Freetown. Well, he has been talking about, of course, the Logosop, the massive ship on board our waters, here to share knowledge and of course all that goodies in that ship. We shall continue with that conversation further. For now we'll go for a short commercial break. When we come back with the papers and continue discussing this morning. Continue to stay with us.
As a mother of the house, whenever I want to prepare palm soup, there's no need pounding palm fruit. All I need is Nkulenu's Ghana's original palm soup base. My soup is done, and its preparation, it is not difficult at all. Nkulenu palm soup base, it's easily done with no difficulties. Just take few ladles and your soup is done. And its flavor, it's amazing. This is Nkulenu's Ghana's original palm soup base. And this is Nkulenu's Ghana's original spiced palm soup base. Iron fruit and turkey berries are naturally added.
Also available brown gold natural cocoa powder, sunny gold brown sugar, neat fufu flour, shito, pisa, and moringa. All available at Nyami Ado Enterprise, 1 Lower Waterloo Street, Freetown.
Nkulenu palm soup base.
Ghanaian original taste.
Welcome back. The program is Good Morning Sierra Leone, reaching live from the SLBC. We've been having a very exciting discussion here this morning on a range of issues. But for now, we want to continue the program with our newspaper review. And for that, my first pick this morning is the Awuku newspaper. And it opens with a banner headline, Powerful Lobby Launched to Reform 60-Year-Old Police Act. And Deputy Dumping takes education on Sierra Leone's fiscal deficit expected to decline below 3% of GDP by 2024. Local Commercial Bank reports 191.6 million loans profits for 2023 financial year. Quite huge. Come on, that, grab yourself a copy of the Awuku newspaper. My next pick is the Awareness Times newspaper, and it opens with a banner headline, As it receives its full clearance to operate with NCTV, both administered Sierra Leone College.
So we are not only taking in young people who are engaged in climate action, because we also see the conference as an opportunity to inspire more people to learn about climate change and take action on it. And so usually maybe some of these conferences we say we're going to focus on those who are engaged in activities around climate change and the environment. But if you do that, you deny the opportunity for other people to learn about what they can do, what action they can take. So yes, one major requirements is that you have to be a young person within the bracket, within the youth age bracket, even though we're also looking at major diversity requirements. We want to ensure that participants have to come from all regions of the country. We're taking from the provinces. We're ensuring that we have as much people from the provinces, so it's not just those who are in Freetown that can participate. We're also going to ensure that we have a balance of both gender taking part in the conference, and so that's also one thing where the review panel is going to look at in reviewing the applications. We have to ensure that we consider disability and, you know,
percent of the youthful population in Sierra Leone is are engaged in drugs. So my word of caution is here: youth should speak up. You know, when you speak up, I think you're letting go the problems you're facing. You know, like Youth Vibe, we have the Let It Go initiative that we are dealing with right now. We will provide safe space for youths through interactions and play, so that they
group or the mental health disorder. Now quickly we move over to, of course, our man Sumaila from Logos Hope, Freetown, the project coordinator. I believe it is very much possible that our viewers now might be very much interested to get on board your cruise ship and to go through your varieties, your journeys of books, wanting those that really will speak to some of the needs they are yearning to get knowledge in. What are some of the provisions that are being set for them as they onboard your ship?
Yes, so as Logos Hope, in every port that we go, we make sure that we provide very good access, where people they can come alongside as well. Very accessible to come inside and being welcomed by our crew from different continents. Actually, those crews that we have, most of them, 70% is young people.
Okay.
And we give ourselves to be able to serve the community on board the Logos Hope, but also outside the community as well. So you find some of these people on board the Logos Hope. When you go into the book fair, they are going to assist you, and they have placed the books in different areas, in different shelves, where you're going to find the leadership books and education books as well, business books, and other kind of books for the young children as well. You're going to find quite a lot of books, different titles on board the Logos Hope. They are going to assist you if you have any question that you're going to ask. Of course, you're going to find the two prices as well. One, which is a unit, which is the currents of Logos Hope inside on board the Logos Hope.